Hello, beloved. It's me, Robin, intuitive healer and light sparkler at robinhallett.com. And I'm checking in with a special message for you today, a love bomb from Spirit and from me, and to encourage you and inspire you and uplift you and help you get on track with your truest self. Not your fakey woo woo, I must memorize all the affirmations to keep myself okay, you. But your real, true, awesome, beautiful, sparkly, perfect, creative, unique you. And so, this message is called How to Freak Yourself Out in a Good Way. Because you may think about that for a minute. How often do you go around freaking yourself out in a good way? Oh, I know about the bad way. I know how we freak ourselves out in a bad way, but in a good way, that's what we're doing today. So just thank you so much for being here, for riding with me, for appreciating my kooky way of saying things and taking it in and practicing. And especially thank you for shining your light out in the world. You know, that's what we're here to do. And I love that we ride together in the Love Posse and that you and I are making that difference. First and foremost, helping ourselves, and then, everyone we come into contact with, we help. Whether we're actually knowing that or not, whether we see it happening or not, that's the deal. So I've got a little. Today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I've got a little Earl Grey and sea salt and stevia and this super awesome mug that I have to tell you, the coolest thing happened. I went to Starbucks, that's where this cup is from, and I just thought, oh, I love that so much, that mug. I love the hearts and the arrow through the heart. And, instead of buying it for myself, which is easy to do, let's see how it comes to me. And one of my Jeff's daughters, number one husband's daughters, works at this Starbucks. And I pointed to the cup and I pointed to myself and I went, and I said, Robin, that's not really trusting. Let's see what comes. Let's freak ourselves out in a good way. Let's see how the big you delivers something so tiny. But we get to have everything we want. It's okay. I thought that's not very trusting. And wouldn't it be nice? I walked home. I thought, wouldn't it be nice if something really magical happened, something cool and different instead of, oh, my birthday's coming or Valentine's Day. It was just my birthday and now it's Valentine's Day. There's two opportunities to get a present and let me tell people what to give me. I just put it out there. I caught it. I caught myself freaking out in a different way. Like, oh, I have to do something to make it happen, make sure people around me know I want this gift. So, not to be this, the universe, man. They are just the sparkles there, so full of surprises and fun. Do you know? I think I got home at 1 o'clock. My 2 o'clock client comes to the door, who I haven't seen in probably over a year, comes to the door with a Starbucks bag. Not only did she just decide to buy me some delicious, whatever, yum yum drink from Starbucks, is she not carrying this mug? And she's like, I just saw this and thought you have to have it. So there you go. I love how those things happen. And and they're a reminder, and I couldn't wait then to tell my stepdaughter, look, I got, never mind, cancel. Look, I sent her a selfie like this. It's so funny though, because we all forget, and then these little things come and they help us remember, and it's so awesome. I love it. So we can freak ourselves out in a good way about bigger and bigger things. That was just an example about a coffee mug. But when you think about how many times in a day you find yourself upset, this is the time to be honest. It's just me and you here. And, your mind is thinking all the time, and you're only holding loving thoughts or fearful thoughts. That's it. So, probably a good portion of the day, you're dipping into upsetting thoughts. And you may not be practicing. This may be still new to you, or you may be practicing, or you might be 20 years down the road into it, like me and a lot of you, and you still catch the boogery poo poo thoughts that you have. And, there is no length of time in your practice where you're going to be safe. There's nothing like that, because bad feelings, icky thoughts, they just are a gift. They're a helper to remind you to get back into your center and remember who you truly are. That's it. But, and you know what I'm probably going to say, if only it were that easy to come back to center, like you're driving your car down the road and you hit that, what are those things called on the side of the road in the US? And I don't know if they have them anywhere else, where your tires go, you're just drifting a little in the outer lane, and suddenly, oh, I need to get back into the center of the lane. Well, feelings are like that too. They're just intuitive guidance saying, you are not in the zone you want to be in. So let's get you back into center, sweetheart. And like I said, wouldn't it be nice if that's how you practiced? And that's what I'm encouraging you today. Decide with me. Let's make a pact together. We can make a pinky swear together that from now on, as often as you can, as many times a day as you can, when you catch the upsetting thought, that you decide to freak yourself out in a good way. So I'm going to tell you what that is in a moment, but you're probably already guessing, because it's the exact opposite of what we do when we worry and we're nervous and we're scared, and we allow our minds to keep spinning. And now we're not just imagining something little, it's turning into bigger and bigger and bigger disaster. Does that ever happen to you? Sometimes I have a story I tell, that when I started working on Hello, Money, money is such a big issue for a lot of us. But on my blog, and I'll link this up here in the notes, but I really had to work on my abundance mindset. And along with that came a ton of real life cleanup work that I needed to do to become in alignment with the truth. You can't just practice money or abundance and just be all wishful thinking and slapping some spiritual easy bumper sticker on everything, and then not clean it up in your life. If you spend money or you have debt, we need to do things to get ourselves into alignment. And so as I was working on that stuff, I would find that I would freak myself out. I would get on track with looking at my debt or opening the bills, trying to organize all of this and get myself a plan, and then study with certain people who are teaching spirituality, not spirituality, let's say abundance through a more spiritual lens. And I just call that what would love do versus fear, spending and earning and receiving from a place of love versus spending, earning, and receiving from a place of fear. Going unconscious with your money versus being conscious, centered, aligned, not terrified, not greedy, not like it's got more, I gotta have more and more and more, just like right in your center with your money. But as it often would happen, I'd be practicing along and suddenly I would be way out in the future. And I sometimes tell this story, seeing myself homeless and toothless, like somewhere in my 80s, just like going around down the street with my little sweater on, all misbuttoned and all my teeth gone. And, and And now it makes me laugh. But I would be so scared. It would scare the heck out of me. And I would just think, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And usually, because I do have funny, my thoughts crack me up. I would always think, I'm too old to be a pole dancer and I don't have rhythm. And that would always start to make me laugh. And then I would remember, Course in Miracles, which I love to study, kind of teaches how we use our past, the fear from our past, and we project out into the future. And now we're using our future as a way to prevent the crap that went down in the past. I mean, the whole thing is nuts. It's like you're not even here. You're just ricocheting from this crappy thing. I'm trying not to swear in my videos, can you tell? This crappy thing that happened in the past, and I don't want it to happen in the future, so I'm going to do some weird dance of warding off evil throughout the day, and you're not even present. So freaking ourselves out in a good way is catching those thoughts and saying, first of all, stop it. The feelings that are yicky are just guideposts to tell you you're in yicky territory. And now anything you build from here is going to have yicky energy. I wrote a blog post a week or two ago, and I talked about if you and I were going to bake the most delicious birthday cake, because it was just my birthday. And my favorite cake growing up was yellow cake. I'm sure it was Betty Crocker and the Duncan Hines, the Duncan Hines chocolate, which I would just eat from the can with the spoon. I really did not need the cake. The cake was just a vehicle for the icing. And I like the little pink, they were these little pink hard candies things. Anyway, I'm getting off track, but you'd peel them off the paper and stick them onto the icing, and then they had that pink icing you could squirt on from the tube. So good. I haven't had something like that in a while, but it still takes me back. Good memories in a way. But if you and I were going to bake a cake together, if you were going to come over and we were going to hang out and make some tea or make some coffee and put some good music on and bake cake and talk about how blessed we are and just kind of having that great reverb that you often do with friends, like, gosh, I love you too, this is awesome, I know, isn't it great, yes it is, aren't we lucky, yes we are, right? You may not be saying that out loud because not everybody talks like that, but that's kind of in your heart somehow. You're like, this is amazing, I love this, we're having a good time, this is great, I'm so blessed. And it's building, right? It's like, this is it. This is the process of freaking yourself out in a good way, where you're like, this day is awesome. Suddenly you're not just thinking about your friend. You're like, this day is awesome. Then you're like, this house is awesome, my room is awesome, I love, and then you look down, you're like, this blouse is awesome, my hair is awesome. It just starts going. It's building and building. My life is awesome, my job is awesome, my day is awesome, oh my god, it's almost the weekend, that's awesome, I'm gonna do something awesome this weekend. It's building, it's building, it's building, it's building, it's building. That's freaking yourself out in a good way. But if you and I are baking that cake, we're putting in our ingredients, we're laughing, we're singing, we're dancing around in our little ways. Who would bring out the poo and throw it in the mix master? Why would we do that? Just a nice steaming pile and scrape it in to that yummy yellow batter that is so delicious, just raw off the beater. Now, no, you're not going to do that. That makes so much sense, right? A delicious cake, you don't put anything in there but the cake stuff, the delicious stuff. So, we can work on this the same way with our thoughts, And you might say to me, yeah, easier said than done, Robin, but I actually do have financial problems, or I actually am breaking up with someone, or things are very precarious. My husband lost his job, or I'm getting divorced, or my spouse isn't into me. My friends don't reciprocate. Oh my gosh, nobody read my blog post. I'm launching my blog and nobody is responding. Okay, all right. This is the cool thing. You won't believe how cool this is. Are you ready? There is no such thing as a small upset or an individual upset or a unique upset. All upset is just upset, just like all poo is just poo. Yes, and I won't digress any more than that. But right on some level, you get what I'm saying? It's the same, it's the same, it's the same. So if you're upset about money, or you're upset about bigger, 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 or there's a scary diagnosis, let's just for this, all upset is upset. There's no separation. And, on some level, a lot of how we feel about the story is an illusion. I mean, that's it. We've invested our energy into the story. We've gone there in our minds. We've gone there in our hearts. We've gone there in our imagination. We're just taking ourselves there, and we feel like crap and we are scared. And from that place, our vision is really affected. And now everything we see is that. We look around and we project that story out. So that's kind of my example of becoming homeless and toothless, going around in my little sweater, all mismatched and dirty. And hey, I don't know, maybe I'll have one of those Estelle Getty permanents with the big glasses that are never clean. That's how I get there. And what you do from there, I probably don't need to tell you. What you do from that terrified place is nothing good. Nothing, 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 nothing. Because now you're just preventing yourself from experiencing homeless, toothless land. And so here's what we're going to do. Right when we catch the terror, and maybe this is where you're finding me today on this video, is like you're in terror and you were searching this, and this video came up, or you found this podcast. Listen, stop. Stop, 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 stop. That's the first step. Notice you don't feel good. You're scared, you're upset, you're worried. Notice it, okay? So raise your hand. I have made a mistake. It's just like the car is going off the road now. I've made a mistake. That's it. Let me come back into center. Let me take a deep breath. Let me see where I can go from here. Okay, I'm in terror. You can't just pretend. That's the problem with some of this new age woo-woo stuff, is that it sounds a lot like pretending your way into feeling good, but it doesn't work that way. Just find the next easiest move. If I were sitting in this chair like this and I was getting a kink in my neck, what would I do? Right, I would just be like, okay, let me do this, or let me stand up and let me stretch, let me do some things, or some things like this, right? I wouldn't keep staying in that position and then saying, ow, 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 and then saying, my neck's gonna break, I'm gonna be permanently disfigured, it's all over for me. Somehow we know how to do this naturally. There's two great examples. One, we would not put poo in the cake. Two, if we had physical pain that we could, from posture or doing, your leg fall. Oh man, my legs fall asleep all the time from sitting cross-legged. You just fix it. You stop and assess. Something's wrong. That's the signal. Come back in. That is freaking ourselves out in a good way. So what's the next best feeling thing you can get to? First of all, how about the gratitude of OMG, thank you. I had a successful bell ring here, and I would love to hear if you have that happen to you live in the moment sometime. I want to know about it. You can always write me at hello@robinhallett.com or leave me a comment here wherever you're receiving this message. I love to hear that stuff and celebrate it with you. Is like remembering in the moment is like the grand poobah Ramalama Ding Dong award for me. But honestly, if you remember tomorrow morning after a sleepless, rocky night, I'm just as excited because some part of you is remembering. So that's the first thing is just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Just like when you wake up from a terrible nightmare. Oh, you have a nightmare and you're like, that's not real. That's not real. Whew, thank God I'm awake, right? Okay, so that's the first step is, and then, maybe now is the time to say, you know what? It's never not been okay. It's always worked out. And this is where I find that touching in, I call it touching in. If you've been studying with me a while, you know this saying. You have to touch in with stuff every day that vibrates like your spiritual self does. So for me, that is music, high vibe music or uplifting music or lyrics that are amazing or dance music that's really pumping. It's not heavy, upsetting, gonna slip my wrists music. It's upbeat. It's not angry death metal music, right? I mean, it's got a vibe that's gonna bring us higher. So what is that for you? These videos, these messages that I make for you, you can touch in and let yourself receive even just the beginning, or you fast forward to the end where I always say something special to you. You have to be willing to receive and touch up your vibration, right? So now we're cooking with gas. Somehow now you're remembering, oh right, this is more feeling correct and in alignment with who I am. Ah, good. Okay. I'm almost there. Then you start looking around. What can you appreciate? Here in my office, I'm looking, look at these gorgeous Christmas cactus totally in bloom every year without fail. I really don't have to do anything. I marvel, look at that. I did not do anything to make that happen other than, appreciate it, keep it watered, and put it in the sunlight, or these beautiful flowers back here. And, just look outside. It's a beautiful day, or even if it's a dark day, find the things that are wonderful and be in a state of appreciation. And then the next thing that comes is just a higher, yes, a higher vibrational thought. In your mind becomes clear, and now you're somehow feeling the extension of spirit into your mind again, into your heart. The light of the big universe is somehow able to access. It's like you're a satellite dish and the signal is getting stronger, and suddenly you hear very clearly all is well, and you are loved, and you are precious and perfect and wonderful. And things are always working out for your highest good. They've never not worked out for your highest good. And all is well. Let go, sweetheart. Trust, surrender. You start hearing that stuff, right? So, I'm looking down because before I record these videos, I say to God, okay, what can I say? What can I do? What would you have me share? So I put a few notes down. Suffering, your suffering, that's not your true self. That's not living your true self. That's not who you truly are. And any of the thought forms that spin from that place is not your real essential self. What if just for a week you could practice, okay, Robin, I'm going to practice for a whole week. Maybe, I'm a fan. Make yourself a note card. Write some of these key statements down today. Carry it with you. Don't put it on your phone, okay? Put it on paper, handwrite it yourself, and practice your words. Keep it where you can see it. That's where I pulled this out from my little keyboard here. I just have it tucked in. How can you keep yourself vibing high in that state of appreciation, in that state of love, and take that leap? I'm not saying you must or you are required to be happy at all times. That is, you know what that is. That's not true. And that's something that many of our parents did to us. They required of us because they couldn't handle the upset. They were overwhelmed and they just couldn't handle seeing us need anything or have needs or be upset maybe. But you know what? We get to decide today. We're all grown up and we get to do what we want to do, and we can decide to take this leap. So, first of all, it's not about being required to be happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. You're just going around all day like, hello, I'm so happy all the time. I'm never upset. I never have a problem. I never do. Everything's wonderful. In fact, people like that, do you know anybody like that? They look like the angriest people on the planet, actually. The ones who are like, I'm never upset. So, you can be real. You can experience downs. I mean, I do. I share very honestly. There are days where I feel really depressed or I feel really anxious, and it's just through my own personal practice that I come out of it much quicker than ever before, and along with things like managing my what I eat and how I sleep and the kinds of things I do for myself for my fun factor that have really helped me stay in a better place ongoing. But we're all going to have dips. And we're all going to get pissed off about stuff. And we're all going to have days where we get scared. And guess what? There are still times where I wake up in the night like this. I'm laying down and I go, and I have a story hit me. And then, the ass kicker of light in me, the spiritual one who's like, nuh-uh, she just says, no, that is not helpful. You might say to me, well, Robin, this stuff has to be solved. We have to figure it out. You can't just keep saying no. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Because you know what? When you vibe in that place enough, when you stave off the low energy and you really practice being in alignment with your true self, with your light and your heart and the love that you naturally are, Spirit is talking to you loud and clear. You're getting the messages. You bet I got the download of what I needed to do to clean my finances up and to begin saving money and to spend less and enjoy what I already had more, and to not feel like it was a requirement to earn $1 million, because I definitely do not. I value free time way too much, and to be out in the world and hanging out with people is my great joy. So, it's not about fear-based money stories. It's about learning to be free and let go of fear. So if that's you too, we can practice. So there's this one in you that's like, no, no. When you keep your energy in that place enough and you practice and you say, every day I'm going to touch in with Spirit. I'm going to do I'm going to dance around to Mary J. Blige or whoever you like, to get pumped up again, or the Beatles, or I don't know, Michael Franti, or you know what I'm saying. Listen to your good music that keeps you feeling so good. Right there, you're already off to the races. Do your breathing. Maybe listen to some of my videos or read the blog, or I love Abraham Hicks, such a great, or listen to some people that you like on YouTube. Do what you need to do. Throughout the day, Spirit is going to tell you exactly what you need to do, exactly where you need to go, exactly who you need to talk to, exactly what you need to say. If you're trying to think of a blog post or a business idea, it's going to come. It's just like at the beginning of this video, I thought I had to do a little pushing to make sure I got this mug. And when I let go again, an hour later, I had it in my hand. That's it. So you just trust all is well. My job is to stay in my center. So before this gets too long, Though, how could you really tear yourself away? Am I right? I just, want to say, let's practice together. I'm here. I offer individual sessions, private, one on one, virtually like this, and also in the Chicago area. I have every month there's a live healing call that you can jump in on. It's called Tower of Power. It's the third Thursday of every month. And, I answer everyone's question, requests for healing and light. They're awesome. And there's always a class, there's something going on. So check it out over at robinhallett.com. And always you can write to me, hello at robinhallett.com for support or encouragement. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Let's make this magic happen for you in a more ongoing, profound way. Because guess what? You are amazing. Your life is a gift. You're beautiful. You were meant to shine. The world needs your shine. There is something only you can do. You're unique. You have a sliver of this entire universe that's all for you, and you need to bring it your way. And in order to do that, we need you vibing from the center, from your spiritual self, who you truly are, which is somebody who is connected to spirit and the hum in all things, not the poo-poo in the birthday cake, not, riding down the highway in that lane. That's not you. And as a dear friend says, sometimes I feel better than I like to admit. Yes, all of us have melancholy days. Enjoy your melancholy day, but don't fight for it. Who doesn't like to watch a tearjerker movie and cry and feel all that? But there's sweetness in that too. There is such sweetness in suffering. But don't be an addict, okay? There's a difference. That'll have to wait for another day. Just sending you so much love. You are loved, lovable. I love you. You can do this. We're doing it together, okay? So, woo! Let me hear you say it. Are you doing it? Woo! Yes! Gonna freak myself out in a good way today. Lots of love. This is Robin, the light sparkler, an occasional part-time goofy person. Lots of love. Ciao. Bye. Peace out.